Hey everybody, Stephanie here. I am going to talk a little bit about anxiety and overthinking. So I'm going to be going off, reading off something that I kind of put together. So I'll be going back and forth to the screen here. But what happens to your mind when you can't control your mind anymore? Your mind has control over you, right? And when your mind is out of control, it produces unnecessary and even destructive thoughts. So to understand, we have to know that thinking actually does create emotions. And no matter if it's grief, anger, fear, happiness, your thoughts develop your emotions. And then these sensations are all produced by the way that we're thinking. So if you're constantly stressed out, you're constantly thinking, you're constantly feeling bad, start really focusing on what kind of thoughts are you producing. So extremely anxious people are affected overthinkers. So they tend to create so many different scenarios in their minds about what's going on or what has happened, and they're consistently pledged by the anxiety. They're always constantly thinking about that. And worrying about the future also prevents them from being in the present moment. And too much anxiety can really make you miserable. It can make you exhausted. It even leads to suicidal thoughts and even sometimes suicide itself. So yes, you can literally think yourself to death with depression. While anxiety does come from worrying about the future, depression is a consequence of being stuck in the past. So, of course, there is a lot more when it comes to depression, and that's whenever you're looking at it as a sickness or disorder. But simply think about past events over and over and over again just makes you so miserable. So some people, they tend to just carry this heavy pack of every moment of their life, like everything that's happened in the past, they just carry it with them. They carry it, and every day they remind themselves of the things that they could have done differently, or what are the things they could have said differently, or what could have gone differently, right? But what if you actually change the way you thought there? What if you actually say to yourself, the past cannot be changed. You accept it. And turn it around to where it's a life lesson that has been generated by your life experiences. And it's to help you make better decisions for the future. And when a person is worrying about those experiences, which it's absolutely nonsense to keep doing this to yourself over and over again, because remember, you're in control. But if you're constantly doing that, your mind is now controlling you. It will lead to anxiety because you create that on your own. So depression can also lead to suicidal thoughts and suicide itself. But we can control that if we start to understand that it's our mind and we are in control of our thoughts and what we want to think about. So let's think a little bit about insomnia. So have you ever experienced you want to go to sleep, but your mind is constantly thinking, and it's withholding you from actually going to sleep? And then, even your body is extremely tired and you just can't go to sleep, right? Your mind is wide awake, right? So people often do this, is that they try to force themselves to sleep, but it doesn't ever really happen because you're constantly thinking. Your mind is constantly overworking. So because that we have to control our mind, and the fact that we're not controlling it is the reason why we can't actually go to sleep. So if you're constantly worrying and you can't go to sleep and you're constantly think you might want to actually look to see that if you're actually suffering from insomnia. I'm not saying you are. I'm not a doctor, but look into that. Maybe actually look at to see what is it that you're actually thinking about. Is it stuff that is in the past that you need to actually tell yourself that you can let it go? It's probably just the way that you need to speak to yourself. So having insomnia is potentially dangerous because we do need sleep, and sleep is essential for our well-being and functioning. So insomnia often does go hand in hand with depression and anxiety, and it is a common symptom of waking up around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're unable to go to sleep, even if you only had 4 hours of sleep and you're extremely tired and you still can't go back to sleep. So start thinking about like overthinking, right? Overthinking is an effect that it can actually cause you to not make a decision. Overthinking can prevent you from getting answers that you're actually looking for. So let's just say, for example, that you have so many ideas going on through your head, and you have this worry in the back of your mind as well about, making the wrong decision. And it maybe, or like, I don't know if I should do this about starting my business, or I don't know if I should go and ask this person out on a date. Yes, your business can fail. Yes, the person can tell you no about going out on this date. But by not asking and not taking action, you get a guarantee no. And so many people rather take no in exchange for a certainty than that people will choose a yes. So we're constantly paralyzed in our own thoughts. So in other words, overthinking can lead to wasted opportunities. Overthinking is a root of many problems and mental problems. And one of the best things I can say for a solution for this is to, one, start thinking about your thoughts, of what kind of thoughts you're producing and the emotions that go with it. Some physical things that you can actually do is, meditation, exercise, diet, or even a combination of them. And when you have an actual combination, even with structure involved in that, that is now called discipline. But all of this is habits that need to be developed, and good habits. So if you are a person that's kind of like just struggling with your mind, constantly overthinking, reach out to me, come and talk to me, have a coaching session with me. Let's talk and see what's really going on in your mind. What are you telling yourself? How much control do you have of your own mind? If you're interested in that, let me know. But I hope this did help kind of break down a little bit of why your anxiety could produce with you thinking all those thoughts that you think, how you're consistently making yourself think of the past and not being in this present moment, and how maybe you actually might be worrying too much about the future. All right, y'all, I hope this helped. I'll talk to y'all some more, and y'all have a good one. Thanks.